This will be just a very brief video. It's an update on Summer Wells and on the recent arrest that took place of Don Wells and other associates of his, as well as a new suspect who looks to have finally been unearthed in the Summer Wells situation. I was going to say his name is Jose. Thank you again. That's coming up next. There was a lot being worked on, and that's what I can comment on for now, because the Summer Wells case has really gotten to a very important crescendo. Thank you. This is my very important update I promised to do from before. I've really been researching. It's the Summer Wells case. Don Wells has since been essentially convicted and his previous rights revoked for some serious DUI arrest charges, and also he's been implicated now officially by some individuals now in the disappearance of Summer Wells, and it's just interesting. I believe now also David Wise has likewise been implicated, and so this is just up-to-the-date news on the newest developments of Summer Wells, which I'm going to be covering here. According to court documents, Wells will be eligible for probation after serving 180 days in a 28-day alcohol rehabilitation program. And according to an affidavit from Hawkins County on October 30th at approximately 10:14, Wells' white GMC Sonoma was pulled over for stop at a traffic light after they attempted to turn off the shoulder. The responding officer saw Wells had bloodshot eyes and smelled like really strong alcohol. The officer also saw a large bottle of alcohol in the passenger seat. According to the affidavit, Wells stated he had taken a couple of shots of vodka. The officer conducted a field sobriety test, and Wells was taken in. So, I'm just pointing out it's very interesting. He had a friend also. I'm going to be covering some of that here because it's a very important thing. I feel be able to go into more detail about these things. Jose Angel Roman, and he was arrested as an official offender, a S offender, in Weber County, Utah, but he's also been seen a lot and spotted in Tennessee, kind of near where David Wise is located. So we're going to be taking a look at this for a minute. Some very important updates, important issues. I definitely feel it's a relief that they are in custody and that they're now finally looking at Jose Roman, because I believe he was definitely 100% involved in this. I have no question about that now. He was probably involved in this because David Wise was involved in this. And, it's definitely time. Hope and pray, that they find exactly what was done to Summer. And this is terrible. Certainly a terrible situation overall. But, I'm just going to say that I'm not surprised when it comes to Don Wells, because none of us have lived ideal lives. I guarantee pretty much everyone has committed some crimes. Okay? It's just a part of the whole deal, I know we did as well. people in my direct family and so forth, for certain. It's just the difference between, I mean, if you have somebody threatening to blow you up with a revolver, for example, okay? Because these are things that sometimes happen now in society. It's unfortunate, but it does happen, So a criminal act like that versus taking a lottery ticket or taking something from the store and signing with someone else's signature, for example. And the difference between those things is very, very grave in scope. That's what we always have to remember with certain things we see that go on in the world, because these are terrible, just unconscionable crimes. I mean, these people murdered and clearly also kidnapped many, many children, and that's going to come out because that would be a part of the plea process that's ongoing with all of this. And it should be terrifying to mid-America parents in Tennessee who never imagined or understood that this type of true crime situation can occur sometimes. And I really would like to see Summer Wells be found. That's really the bottom line here. In a Monday afternoon appearance in the Hawkins County General Sessions Court, Don Wells, father of missing Rogersville abductee Summer Wells, is now serving time in the Hawkins County Jail in connection to his earlier DUI and other issues. During the 1 p.m. appearance, Wells pleaded guilty to driving under the influence, and the state dropped prior charges. While in court, Wells claimed a toxicology screen from the night of the arrest returned without evidence of drugs. Wells also said a blood alcohol screening taken that night returned with a level of 0.13%. Wells stated in the court filing that this was his first DUI, to which the judge shrugged, because of course that is untrue. He's been under several of these. The mandatory minimum sentence for that charge is 48 hours, 88 hours of community service, 1 year of a revoked license, and a $350 fee. However, since Wells' arrest was a violation of probation related to prior possession of a handgun while intoxicated, he must serve the remainder of all 11 months. Wells was taken directly from the Hawkins County Courthouse to the Hawkins County Jail the afternoon the verdict was read. Wells passed a note in court to News Channel 11 Bianca Marie, which read, "Thanks to everyone for all positive support. It's been very difficult during this time. Wells may not have to serve the full time, as he may be eligible for probation again, but it's unlikely that will occur now that the jury is digging into the Summer Wells situation." Just wanted to point that out. It's good, and it's a positive development. While in court, Don Wells told General Sessions Judge Todd Ross that he wanted to get away, as he and Bly were arguing. According to an affidavit filed with Hawkins County, Don Wells was allegedly found in a white GMC Sonoma on Van Hill Road. So he wasn't found very far from the estate where Summer Wells vanished, essentially. And it doesn't say anything about Billy Botson here, but there's been some interesting updates on him too. Don Wells was apparently friends with Jose Roman. And what that means is Jose Roman will be culpable for sure at the end in the disappearance of Summer. He's an offender, and I just got an incline right away because of everything that kept coming up, that he was directly involved with Summer Wells' untimely disappearance from view. So that'll be interesting to review that. During a one-leg stand, officers say Don Wells dropped his foot to the ground twice. The affidavit says that while arresting officers read Don Wells' rights, he stated that he probably had too much to drink. And the officers definitely agreed. So it's good, you know. These people are being dealt with. And it's good to hear that the same thing is coming for Robin Lane, too. There's a lot that could be said about this. I don't know if I agree or not whether Candace Bly should receive the same treatment. She covered it up, though, after the fact, so that's something the jury really needs to review, and hopefully there will be, fairly soon, a couple of juries really investigating this. Thank you again. There's some more to come on Ramon. This has now popped up a repeated number of times. Jose Roman. That is someone who was definitely involved in some way with Summer Wells' disappearance. It kept on coming up, you know, after repeated attempts, it would just keep coming up. Me and Allie had a falling out over this Jose guy she brought up. And then she got mad because he said he only wants platonic. Donnie was coming home. All I told her was, you and Jose and the kids, you need to go back to your home. It's time for you to go back. She said, I can't take him back to my house. My grandmother will not approve. Well, you brought him out. So Jose Roman is his name. Is apparently an ex-offender who's lived a long time in Utah. And he was there in Tennessee around the same time that Summer Wells was reportedly, you know, she ended up disappearing. So this is very, very important. It's going to be reviewed and examined. Well, I'm not taking Jose with me. So you're going to leave this man on my doorstep knowing my husband will be mad? She got mad about it and left him stranded. Then she wants to say I was all over him, but I've got all the photos of her being in the house. Being all over it. According to Deputy Kyle Shively of the Hawkins County Sheriff, when he arrived at the couple's home at 110 Ben Hill Road on October 14th, Don Wells had already come and left the property. So Shively began to speak with Bly and two other witnesses that same day. When Shively spoke with Bly and the two witnesses, Summer Wells' grandmother Candace Harrer and the man Jose Roman, something happened. Bly said Wells came home intoxicated, and when he saw Roman in the house, accused Bly of infidelity. According to Shively's report, Don Wells began to struggle with Roman and Bly, and she was pushed down, injuring her left knee. Then Bly and the witnesses said Wells began punching himself and left. When another deputy warned Shively that Don Wells' white GMC Sonoma was coming up the driveway, Shively said family members expressed fear and said there was a firearm and he had brought it. Shively detained Don Wells in the driveway and said he detected a strong odor of alcohol and apparently picked up Don Wells from off the ground. Don Wells allegedly admitted to a firearm. The weapon, which was a black powder pistol, was located. He admitted to having a felony charge that had never been resolved in Utah. Don Wells was then arrested without incident. Charges of unlawful possession of a weapon and domestic assault were dismissed due to failure to prosecute the claim. Don Wells was given supervised probation for 1 year in order to perform 96 hours of community service. His weapon was forfeited to the sheriff. So he shouldn't have even had a weapon, it sounds like, to start with. But somehow he ended up getting charged later for having a weapon and being intoxicated. So that's an interesting point. And I haven't heard that brought up before either. According to records, Bly filed for an order of protection for herself and the 4 children on October 13th. So right when Jose Roman was showing up and started showing his own stuff around town, they filed for several restraining orders. So that's not any coincidence. And when you look at it, it was soon after that Summer Wells also disappeared. So it's just, it's very interesting. Allie's 15-year-old son reportedly accompanied Candace and Summer when they left to pick up the mother. The boy was reportedly taken back to his home after Candy, and Summer Wells returned to their Hawkins County residence. The timeline and events leading up to Summer's disappearance remain a focus of the investigation. Much conjecture has occurred in social media regarding the final shown images taken of Summer, including Warrior's Path and her lying against 2 milk jugs in the back seat of Candy's Silverado pickup truck, in which Candace reportedly drove the family to Kingsport and home. When she fell asleep on the way, it was like she was tired. So I took her wet swimwear off, and the only outfit that I had on was a brand new one that we got for the kindergarten school. It was a suit, pants, and a sweater. I got it 1 week before this incident. So I just figured we will change her out and put her in these. That way she will be warm. She won't freeze on the way home. She was asleep. People make up so much BS. Then they are pointing out she had a couple of pimples. People say silly stuff. To me, it seemed like it was a setup. The only possible conclusion I could come to is after Summer went missing, Allie and that whole gang totally turned all the way around and started making up lies. Well, that's true, except now we know Allie borrowed money, apparently. She borrowed money from a friend of Robin Lane, which is strange, and then Candace, of course, tried to borrow money. So this is kind of a strange situation for that to automatically occur at this time. Jose Roman is still what I would point to as a prime suspect, being involved in the disappearance of Summer Wells. He also knew Robin Lane, so it would make sense that he is involved somehow. You know, the real question is going to be, when did he get involved, and how was she kidnapped? How did they take her away? We know Candace probably was not likely involved in that way, because she probably just lied about it after everything had taken place. But she wouldn't have done this kidnapping. We figured that out. So how did Robin Lane, Don Wells, and Jose Roman, was who I'm going to call him now, how did they end up pulling this off? We're going to examine that. As I firmly believe, definitely, that Jose was involved now, or the stories related to him wouldn't keep appearing the way they do. So we're going to find out. Thank you. Jose Angel Roman is his name. I no longer find it out of the realm of possibility, for sure. That's him. Same exact person. And he used to live in Ogden. And when we go out here, this is that address. This is where he was, which I find interesting because this particular road on Philadelphia Road here, right off of Reach Street, that's not too far away from where Don Wells and his friend would hang out a lot in Tennessee. And that makes quite a bit of sense that they would try to cover for certain things or for certain aspects of the crime simply because the distance. But the distance really isn't that far, is the interesting aspect when you kind of break this down and examine it. So I feel very strongly now that Jose Roman is definitely a suspect in the disappearance of Summer Wells. And it should be more heavily investigated. There's no question. And strangely enough, when you go down these streets and you start checking out different houses, they're unmarked, kind of give you a little bit of a shady vibe. Not a place that you would find any kind of real upcoming community. So, not a very good place. Bit of a rough area, but more than that, it is in proximity. It's keeping in proximity to where Summer Wells disappeared, and so I find this very interesting, folks. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the videos. For it seems we do indeed have some new suspects in the Summer Wells case. Thank you again. The case continues like it has continued thus far. Summer Wells will be found very soon, and it'll be over. But there's certainly a lot that can be truly learned from this interesting affair. They're also looking at Robin K. Lane. Wanted to report that as an update. And she's being investigated for possible accessory as far as the kidnapping. Ultimately, the kidnapping charges, which would be quite serious and not unexpected, because it'd be about time that Tennessee do the right thing and lock them up too. So it's getting to be interesting, and ultimately it's good news because now they have a very, very strong lead about what happened to Summer Wells. So there you go.